Shall we do the entire interview like this?
No problem.
Okay. So, so anyway, so you're back for a second time as Xerxes. Is this a very different Xerxes we're seeing this time around?
You actually gonna have a chance to see a little bit of his backstory. You're gonna understand how Xerxes became the God King. And that's very interesting because it brings humanity to this character, which was pretty exciting, for me to play the same character again after 6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to see that.
And presumably he still looks the same. That's very striking
Yeah.
get-up.
Yeah, it's the same guy 6 years later, worked out very hard to go back to that shape, just for the rise of an empire.
Rise of an empire. So how was that in terms of the working out? Because, whenever you guys describe what you do in this film, I just get tired thinking about it. So what was it like actually doing it?
It was the first thing that came to my mind. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was like, oh, again, oh, and then I saw like chocolate, ice cream, flying away, no fun for a couple of months. Just hard work, man.
Yeah.
Hours at the gym, eating at the right time, the right food.
They've
3
got
months.
for this movie that you didn't shoot on water, but
We
the
did
water
not,
the
but-
water is manufactured.
Exactly.
Because they can do that with computers.
Yeah.
So can they not, ab you up in a computer?
It would be awesome, but they don't. They don't, so we have to work out for that. And I think it's important for the actors to, be able to, especially the guys that are out there fighting.
True.
It's not my case because Xerxes is
Yeah.
he's coming up with the strategy for the battle. The workout is up here.
But what would have happened if you turned up for the first day of filming with a massive belly and just said, "Look, guys, I'm not doing it. Just make it in this computer, and we'll be fine."
Where's the producer? Let's ask. That's a great question
yeah.
because that would save a lot, and that would be interesting. I don't know if they can do that.
303.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We have to have that conversation.
Yeah.
I'll do it, but can you just work it out?
I could be your stomach double.
All right.
Yeah, for the next
You want
one.
to do that?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's make it happen.
Can you pull it off the voice?
Of course I can.
All right. You got the job.
Cheers, man. Thanks. So I thought you would be here this year with Sin City.
Me too.
Yeah. What's the latest in that movie? Because it's been pushed back to next year.
I think we just finished shooting in March, so I don't think it was going to be ready anyway.
Okay.
Yes, it's coming out next year.
I thought he's really quick, Robert Rodriguez. He can do these things very, very
He's
quickly.
amazing.
Yeah.
He's very. I mean, he's like the director, the DP. I mean,
He plays music on set.
he does.
Yeah.
Yeah. He composes music. I mean, he's amazing.
And well, the comparisons in a way, that movie shot and 300. There's a lot of green screen, a lot of artifice, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, we had like real boats. We didn't know what was around us, but we had real actors, so that's the main thing.
Okay.
And you have to use your imagination a lot. And you don't know what it's going to look like, but it's like theatre.
But presumably you have drawings and sketches and things that people show you beforehand,
they
just
do.
to roughly give you an idea.
They do, yeah. We know what we're supposed to be looking at, yeah. But you want to change the green after a while, you get kind of sick of it.
It's monotonous, I guess, a little bit. But can you talk about who you play in this movie?
Yeah, I play Artemisia. She's a warrior woman. She's the commander of the Persian Navy. And she is like completely obsessed with vengeance. And she's pretty evil. Yeah.
Not to be trifled with, I guess.
No, you have to watch out. No.
The first 300 was famous for its workout regime, for its cast. There were a lot of abs on that set. Was it the same for this one? And did you go toe to toe with the guys?
I mean, I was kind of lucky. I was treated a bit differently. Yeah.
In what way?
I mean, I'm not as strong as a man. The training was really hard at the beginning. Like 2 hours a day of sword fighting, then 2 hours of strength training, and squats and lunges and burpees, and I felt like I was in the army at some point. But it's nice. It's the first time I was doing something so physical, and you kind of surprise yourself. I've lost everything since then, but
I was going to say, have you kept it up since? Or not at all?
not as much. No,
Yeah.
you have to be in the mood and kind of you can't do 4 hours a day. I mean,
I don't think I've done 4 hours of my life, to be honest with you. But in terms of the con, have you been to Comic-Con before? Have you been around? Have you seen people in costume? What do you make of this crazy place?
I feel like I'm in a sci-fi film like Blade Runner or something. It's very interesting actually. It's surreal. Still pinching myself. I don't know where we are, but yeah.
It's a strange one. Maybe back next year with Sin City. We'll
Yeah,
we'll see.
probably.
Okay. Thanks. Yeah. So making a sequel to 300 must have been. I mean, where do you start with something like this?
You start with a great script, and you start with great collaboration, and you start with the fact that it is really a companion film and not just a continuum. So really, that's really the basis for it. But I think that there is so much. There are so many great opportunities here because thematically it's very different, and technically it's very different, and visually it's very different because it really happens on water. There are strong women at the helm of it.
One very strong woman in particular. Yeah.
One very, very strong woman. I wouldn't mess with her. So I think that there was a lot of opportunity in that way to do stuff.
Because the problem, obviously, with starting off is that most of the characters are dead in 300, so you have to go in a different direction. You can't bring Jerry Butler back.
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
But there are crossover characters.
well, there are some crossover characters, and because this is a companion film, so to speak, it's the second story of that building. This is not a clone. We didn't take a building and just cloned and put another one next to it. It is really what it is it all takes place at the same time, as if you zoomed out of 300, which was actually a very operatically defined battle beside a rock, and you zoom out and you start seeing what the volume of what the battle is, and the geography and the history allows you to do great things.
Were you locked in stylistically into the same sort of palette and the same sort of style as Sack used?
No, I think that there are two vectors here that are at play, which are very important. One is the Frank Miller vector that we all had and we all love, and he is a god. So really, it is about keeping the language of that to a certain extent. But also, we had a reference point that we wanted to push forward. We didn't want to clone 300. We wanted to do something different, and just the fact that we had water allowed you to do quite a bit.
Yeah. How do you shoot green screen and water at the same time? I mean, how did you get around that particular challenge? Did you actually shoot on water at some point, or is it all
We
CG?
shot nothing on water. There was not a drop of water really on set.
Wow. The actors must have been thirsty, man.
Well, we gave him a little bit of water.
Punish them.
Punish them. It's good for their character. That's how you control them, actually.
So how did you do it though, without a drop of water
I think
inside?
technology now allows you to do it, and that's part of the operatic feel to it. It's actually an incredible tool because you're not dealing anymore with real water. You're dealing with water that you can create and then you can manipulate. Water does what it wants to do, but the fact that you can actually manipulate it and do whatever you want with it allows you to have a very specific style to it, very much in the same concept as the first one.
Yeah.
So you can really create your own world.
So Spielberg should go back and remake Jaws because it would be a doddle now.
I'm not going to answer to that. I'm smarter than that.
And one last thing about your cast, I mean, pushing them physically, because one of the major talking points about the first movie was obviously how ripped most of the cast were. How far down that path did you go with this movie?
Oh, we pushed it. There was a strong regime to do that, and I think people who come in to see abs are going to be well served. So I have no issue with it. I think the thing to remember is while this all has that, they're simple poets and potters, and it's a story of the Greeks on that side of the equation. So we had a little bit more latitude, but I think everybody's going to be happy.
I go to see these movies to feel bad about my podgy stomach. So.
Same here, brother.
Pleasure, man.
Thank you.